For a while now, I have been receiving questions regarding Chelsea's Mykhailo Mudryk, who has not been seen playing football since December 2024, when he was placed on a provisional suspension by the FA for having been found to have violated the anti-doping rules. In this video, we will explore what we know about the case. We will understand what the source of the case is, or what the point of contention is, how long investigations will take, when the matter will be brought to logical conclusion, and how long he could possibly be banned. For now, what is being speculated is that should he be found guilty for the said charges, he does face a potential 4-year ban. Welcome back to the Football Tribe UG channel. Robert Kesakos is my name. So, Chelsea's Mykhailo Mudryk, the 24-year-old Ukraine international, has not been seen in Chelsea colours since December 2024, when he last represented Chelsea while playing in the UEFA Conference League. Having joined the club back in January 2023, he has since made 73 appearances for the Blues. Nonetheless, over the last year and 5 months or thereabout, he has not been seen in Chelsea colours because he is under a provisional suspension by the English FA pending a full investigation and a response to the case of anti-doping. Now, what is the source of the matter, and how far have investigations gone? We know for a fact that it was reported that he is believed to have come in contact with a cardiovascular medication known as meldonium that is largely used in Eastern Europe to treat respiratory diseases and heart diseases. Now, that meldonium was banned in 2016 because it is believed to increase the respiratory capacity and stamina of athletes. People like or athletes like Maria Sharapova in March 2016 did test positive for the same substance, and he did serve his ban. Yes, that's the tennis player. So Mykhailo Mudryk does find himself in a similar boat. It is believed that he came into contact with meldonium during the November international break of 2024. For those of you that are football enthusiasts, you will know that every November there's an international break. So it was during that period, away with the Ukraine national team, that he is believed to have come in contact with meldonium, even though the player does deny to have knowingly violated the anti-doping rules. Now, of course, these anti-doping rules are made to bring fairness to the game in terms of competitiveness. Like I said, the medication in itself, although genuinely used to treat certain conditions, it was banned from athletes or for athletes because it is believed to improve their respiratory capacity and stamina. So, he was provisionally suspended in December 2024. Investigations or preliminary investigations went on until sometime when in June 2025, the FA formally charged the 24-year-old Ukraine international. According to a report compiled by the BBC Sport in September 2025, it does allege or suggest that the Ukraine Federation denied any involvement in the matter and that they cannot speak in larger context about the case because it is under investigation, and therefore they have a non-disclosure agreement that is into effect. The federation president, that is Andrei Shevchenko, is reported to have not visited the player in London, where he apparently maintains a residence from his time when he played for Chelsea. So Mykhailo Mudryk signed to Chelsea from Shakhtar Donetsk for an initial £61 million, and I think an additional £26 million in expected add-ons. Had made 73 appearances at the time for the Blues. Nonetheless, ever since then, he has not played a game of football. He does continue to train independently with a private coach because his access to Chelsea facilities is very, very limited and cannot train with his teammates for as long as he is under the provisional suspension. So that's what we know in regards to Mykhailo Mudryk. So now, should he be found guilty, he does face a potential 4-year ban from the game of sport. I don't know how to say this, but maybe luckily or unluckily, but luckily for him, he is being represented by Morgan Sports Law, the same entity that represented Paul Pogba back in the days when he faced similar charges while at Juventus, as well as boxer Tyson Fury and cyclist Chris Froome. So in the case of Paul Pogba, he was found guilty and therefore given a 4-year ban, even though upon appeal, that 4-year ban, I think, was reduced to 1.5 years, which was 18 months, and therefore has since returned to active football and currently plays for Monaco, where he has not played much due to some injuries. So, Mykhailo Mudryk, that's his curious case. Now, how far have the investigations gone? To the best of our knowledge and our research, the investigations remain largely private. They are yet to be brought to a logical conclusion, to the best of our knowledge. However, representatives from both sides continue to evaluate the evidence that has since been presented in the matter. Speculation has largely been pelted in the wake of the 24-year-old that he does potentially face a 4-year ban. Nonetheless, we are yet to ascertain that as a fact, because we do not know what the logical conclusion of the case will be. Will he be found guilty? Will he be exonerated? Now, my personal concern for Mykhailo Mudryk is what it means for the athlete. And although he is the point of discussion at the moment, for me, the discussion is larger than that. Why? Because while you place an athlete on a provisional suspension, what does that mean for them? It means their career is being accosted. It means they're not involved actively in the sport. What happens should a player be found not guilty after serving these many months in provisional suspension? What does that mean for the player? I understand him being provisionally suspended, let's say for 3-4 months, or even at the maximum 6 months, but for it to go on for as long as it is gone on for Mykhailo Mudryk, and yet we are yet to bring the case to a logical conclusion, I find that very wanting in terms of the process itself. Take an example. Assuming the investigations or the matter takes 2 years or more, and then the player eventually is not found guilty. So, what then happens? Who then takes the responsibility for the time he's been out of the sport? On the other side, Shakhtar Donetsk risk losing out on their expected add-ons of £26 million because of his limited involvement in the game, and reports did emerge that Shakhtar Donetsk were considering taking the matter to court to sue the Ukraine Federation for what they could believe may have been an involvement in the issue. Albeit, Shakhtar Donetsk maintained that it is not about the money for them, it's about the well-being of the player and his overall career. So, I do appreciate that in that respect. I think the world of football would have loved this matter to be expedited in whatever means possible and be brought to a logical conclusion. Should he be found guilty, let him serve the necessary sentence. But prolonging the investigation goes to speak to the phrase of justice delayed is justice denied. And for Mykhailo Mudryk, his career is at stake. We all know that the careers of these players is not that very long. You know, at the very best, if you emerge as a youngster, let's say at the age of 16 years, maybe you have a 20-year career or 20 plus years. But in a lifespan, that is indeed short. So Mykhailo Mudryk's case continues to be under investigation. The matters remain confidential, and the proceedings of the case remain very confidential. They are always tight-lipped for those that are involved. So that's why we are yet to ascertain the kind of specific timescale within which we can expect a logical conclusion to this matter. In other words, when will judgment be passed? We are yet to find out. Mykhailo Mudryk was last seen in the public, I think around May, when Chelsea played the UEFA Conference League final in which they beat up against Real Betis by 4-1 in Warsaw, that is Poland. He did have an interaction with fans, but he was there as a private individual for the final. not as a Chelsea player in sort of in that capacity as being part of the squad, because he is under that provisional suspension. He has since denied any sort of involvement, saying he is innocent and he will do everything it takes to clear his name. But like I said, the frustration for me is because of how long it is taking. The substance meldonium in question was, like I said, was banned in 2016. I think that was after 2015 when about over 16 athletes were found to have tested positive for meldonium, but it is a genuine medication that is used to treat heart conditions, among other things, within the regions of Europe. The player himself continues to be in training. He continues to train privately with a private coach. His access to Chelsea facilities is very limited and is not allowed to, be involved with the rest of the Chelsea squad. That's why you will not see photos of him, at least in training. And I don't know. It does sound a little bit too cruel for all these limitations. I would think that maybe he would have been given the chance to train with the reserves, because I do not think in him training with reserves, he's going to compel anyone or try and persuade anyone into taking similar substances for which he is facing temporary suspension. Of course, he's trying to maintain his fitness so that whenever he is cleared, he can't get back to play. Paul Pogba, I've told you his case, initially banned for 4 years. We do not know how long Mykhailo Mudryk's ban will be should he be found guilty. So for those of you that have been wondering what's going on with Mykhailo Modryk, that's what we know. The timelines are very unclear. The FA remains tight-lipped on the progress of the matter in terms of where it has reached. Are we near judgment? Are we far from it? Chelsea remained monitoring their player. But for me, his career is really, really at stake, because when you've been out of action, no matter how hard you've been training, trust me, it's going to take you a while to get yourself back to the sort of shape where you are at. At the time, when these charges, or when this temporary suspension came into effect, that was in December 2024, there was speculation that the player was bound to be released on a loan back to Shakhtar Donetsk to try and get his form back up, because he had sort of had a struggling start to his Chelsea career. So that is what we know regarding Mykhailo Modryk, and your guess is as good as mine. We both have to wait until this matter is brought to its logical conclusion thus far. So Chelsea fans and Mykhailo Modryk fans, Ukraine fans, do stay put, sit tight, and we have to wait this one out like a snowstorm, like a sandstorm in the desert. It's going to be long, it will be excruciating, but there's not much we can do about it. Thank you, and stay blessed. But forget not to like, comment, and share this video so that it can be further recommended to other wider audiences that wish us well, that would like to see us grow on this forum.